Good. So I can, at this point, cut my tenon. This is the way the tenon will go. And just want to verify the mark. Oh yeah, okay, that's where it goes. Okay, yep. So that pencil mark is right. So let's go ahead and cut the tenon off. You see the pencil mark here. And I didn't use a square or anything with that. I literally just used my finger as a marking gauge. I just measured it off, marked the end of it relative to the mortise that I have, and then just used my finger as a fence. Ran that line down. Remember, one side is a little bit, one shoulder is higher up than the other, so make sure you are aware of that as you're sawing, or you'll saw right through a visible face. Okay, that's off. Now we can start fitting these surfaces together. Reposition this thing a little bit. Alright, so my end still a little bit wide. Let's trim that off with the shoulder plane. Pretty close. That end is just still a little bit wide. Trim it off a little bit more. So sometimes you can go view how that tenon is coming through the mortise on the backside to know how to adjust. Looks to me like this wall is just a little bit narrow up here, so I'll trim that a little bit from the outside edge. Actually, a couple of ways I could do this. Maybe just take a little bit of the tenon off here. There we go. Well, it's kind of it almost seems like a little bit of an art to figure out where to trim these and not. Before I go on to the next step, I usually will lay this on a flat surface, a table saw surface, or your bench is great. And in this particular case, let me zoom the camera out. This particular case, you can see that it's not square. So I need to basically turn the rail back in towards the case, or down in this case, and I'll do that. I won't do that by trimming the tenon, because I really want the visible surface here to be nice, the tenon to snugly fit there. So I usually go in and adjust the mortise wall. That's what I'm going to do here. And it doesn't take much to get those to stop rocking and to be nicely positioned. Just a 32nd of an inch at most, maybe. That's probably enough. I think that's pretty good. Check it on the table saw. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so we've got that thing at least flat this way. Now there's still a question of whether it's square or not, and we'll know that once we put the entire door together. So I'm going to bring over the rest of the door frame, see how that fits together. Yeah, it looks like it goes together pretty well. So there you have it. Now, obviously we've got gaps here, right? So we need to go take care of those. The next thing I want to do is trim off the bead on the vertical stiles. And we'll do that right at the edge of the tenon. So we'll make a cut at the edge of the tenon to the end of the stile. Pop these things apart. And there should be a scribe mark there anyway, because that's where your mortise wall is. And we'll just take a, you can do this with your saw if you want, or you can work a little bit away from the scribe line initially and just tap down. Bring your chisel in here. It's like a stop cut in carving. I'm getting a little bit of grain run because I'm going against the grain this way. Nice sharp chisel will keep you safe, I think. There we go. So we've got that bad boy trimmed off. And the last thing we need to do is cope this bead.